Da 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 da. Hi guys, how are you? I hope you're well. I'm actually pretty good. Little sore because I was feeling better, so I decided to go do stuff, and that's always a mistake. But I slept so good, you guys. I think I got a full 8 hours in today, and it was nice. Actually, more than 8 hours. And I woke up and I felt refreshed. And I was like, I'd have been here a couple of minutes ago, but Phoebe needed pet, and I couldn't help but pet her and give her extra love because I scared the shit out of the cat today. Phoebe doesn't go outside, right? Oh, I should say, hey, welcome to the show. This is Monkey of the Morning. I'm Monk, and I'm just going to talk at you. We're out. Phoebe loves to go outside, but she's not allowed outside by herself because Phoebe is a clever kitty cat, but she's not a smart kitty cat. If she was left in the wild, she probably would have died by now because she does really stupid stuff. For instance, I have her outside today, and I look over at her, and she's licking the bumper on the van. I was like, "What is the cat doing?" I watch Phoebe's diet very closely because I'm the one who's had to stay up with her both nights when she was, how do I put this? Fecally inclined. Let's leave it that way. And the only thing the doctor could tell us is she probably got into something she shouldn't have. So I watch very closely and I see her licking the bumper of the van. So I go over and I'm talking to her as I'm doing this. I'm like, Phoebe, what are you doing? And I walk over and I put my hands on her belly. I reach over to pick her up and she lets out a scream I have never heard from her before. I don't think I've ever heard a cat make that sound before, but she was petrified. And so she runs up onto the porch and she looks at me. And then she realized it was me and she softened up. But for a moment there, I think my cat thought she was going to die. And I feel horrible about it because I wasn't trying to scare her. I can still hear it. It was the most god awful screech I've ever heard. The reason we have to watch Phoebe so closely outside, besides her own natural proclivities for hurting herself, is we have giant birds here. We have hawks that fly around here that when they fly overhead, and their shadow hits the ground in front of people around here, it's startling. You're like, oh my God, what the fuck was that? Because it looks like a plane is going over with the shadow these things cast. They're huge. And when Phoebe was smaller, I'm like, she's going to be a snack for those. These days, I don't think that they would actually fuck with her because she's pretty big. But that's why we started watching her so closely. And to think that I'm the one that scared her as though a hawk grabbed her actually makes me feel horrible. I felt so bad. Anyway, so she got some extra love right before the show. Yep, she's got 8 lives left. Actually, with Phoebe, she's probably down to like -6 because she scares very easily. For a cat that is so spoiled, you would think that she faces danger constantly. She is the most easily startled thing I've ever met in my life, and that's including myself, and I'm very easily startled. Happy Memorial Day, Monk. Happy Memorial Day to you as well. I always have trouble with Happy Memorial Day, right? Because Memorial Day is the military holiday where we honor the dead. It's not just all veterans. You guys got Veterans Day for that. These are for people who served and died. And happy just has always seemed. I get what I say it too, but it always feels weird to me to say Happy Memorial Day. Go out and buy a mattress, just like the soldiers would have wanted you to. Does she get along well with the grandkids? No. Phoebe likes Little Butt, but only because Little Butt is no longer so little. The smaller the child, the less Phoebe likes it. She's fucking horrible. She's calmed down as they get bigger. But yeah, no, Phoebe's kind of a bitch to them. And instead of just leaving and going and minding her own business, because we mostly stay upstairs when the grandkids are over, and Phoebe has the whole downstairs to herself, where she spends most of her time normally anyway. She'll come upstairs and she'll just plant herself somewhere and stare. It's such a weird thing. My cat is so strange. Anyway, but yeah, it is Memorial Day, and it is a day to reflect on what people have done for us. As fucked up as our country may be here in the United States, it is still the most free in the world. And I know there's going to be, not according to the gay freedom index put out by Marxists. True, I get you. But we have what we have and the ability to be who we are based on what these men and women have fought and died for. And does that mean they always went into a good situation? No. A lot of the times it was our politicians wasting the lives of our fellow Americans. But they did their duty, and they have my utmost respect. So to the fallen, thank you. Thank you so much. And now I got to make dick jokes. Hard to make dick jokes after you have to talk about something like that. Well, let's just jump right into the insanity of our world. A Colorado man flew to Israel this week to firebomb the U.S. Embassy. You heard that correct. A Colorado man allegedly tried to firebomb the U.S. Embassy in Israel and threatened to kill President Donald Trump and Elon Musk, federal prosecutors revealed on Sunday. Joseph Neumeier, 28, a U.S.-German dual citizen, was charged with attempting to destroy the U.S. Embassy branch in Tel Aviv. This is... Of course he's from Colorado, because Colorado is like California on meth. It's like they're taking the worst parts of California, moved it into Colorado, and just turned a camera on it. This fucking genius right here flew to Tel Aviv. He flew to Israel to try to hurt the United States. And he flew from the United States. What the ever-loving fuck is wrong with you, bro? Neumeier was deported from Israel on Saturday and was detained pending trial, according to a press release. Now, this is our genius, this guy right here. He looks like your typical leftist, don't he? The left, the party of tolerance, right? Dangerous. These are great people, man. I can't even pretend. Fuck this guy. Fuck this guy. He gets stopped outside of the embassy. Somebody noticed him, and he puts down his backpack where he had Molotov cocktails inside, and he takes off running back to his hotel where they arrested him. What was his escape plan? He made a series of social media posts threatening embassy staff and Americans more broadly before showing up at the U.S. Embassy in Israel carrying homemade explosives, according to the complaint. We just saw the explosives. Here's part of the complaint here. These are tweets he made. We are killing Trump and Musk now. The Commonwealth. I will hunt you down and kill you both, White House. He left a trail. This isn't the one. There's another one. I don't know if it's in this group of them, but there's one where he put, I think it was on Instagram. Don't quote me on that. We'll see in the story in a second. Where he said, join me as I firebomb the embassy in Tel Aviv. Do we have that one? Maybe it's in this group of photos up here. No, that was too hard for me to even read. There it is. Well, this is in his thing. He puts out, join me as I firebomb the embassy. Death to Americans, death to the West. And that's what we're seeing right there, is that part of it. Anyway, moving along. Neumeier showed up at the embassy office later the same day, but was spotted by guards outside an employee entrance. Fuck you he said fuck you in English before spitting on the guard and trying to flee. This is where he drops his backpack full of the Molotov cocktails. By the way, probably not a good idea to run around with bottles full of gasoline with nothing but a rag shoved in them in a backpack. 2, once again, showing that if you're wearing a backpack, you're probably an asshole. If you're a grown-ass man wearing a backpack, you're probably an asshole. Nuremberg was traced to his hotel 5 blocks away and arrested. He admitted to assaulting the guard. Oh, hang on a second. What's up, Jack?
Hello.
How you doing, man?
Oh, all right. How are you?
I'm pretty decent, actually.
Oh, good. Apologize for my lateness, everybody. I was asleep.
I wasn't even sure you were awake. I hadn't seen you on Twitter at all.
Yeah, I took one of those old man naps where I was like, I'm gonna read this and do something productive. Nope. That was a lie I told myself, apparently.
We're talking about the Colorado man, what was it, Joseph Neumeyer, who flew to Tel Aviv to firebomb the U.S. Embassy.
That seems like a lot of work to damage U.S. soil when you were on it originally. I haven't heard about this. I don't think.
Yeah, he was just deported back to the United States on Saturday and is now being held pending trial.
That's not going to go well for him.
And Jack, he I want to say it was on Instagram. I might be wrong. It might have been on Twitter, but I mean, he actually posted on social media, "Join me while I firebomb the embassy in Tel Aviv." And then he shows up there with a bag full of Molotovs. Yeah, he's a smart one.
Well, a lot of leftists seem to have problems separating themselves from the internet. And brain cells don't really run deep on that side, so.
Well, I can't wait to hear about what a hero this little pussy of a man is. Where are we? Neumeyer. Why do I want to call him Nuremberg? My bad.
Because he's going on trial?
Neumeyer, who was born in Colorado and lived in the U.S. until February when he traveled to Canada. Oh, so he left from Canada. Hey, genius, you know there's embassies in Canada, right?
I mean, apparently he doesn't understand how embassies work, or the fact that if he wanted to attack American soil, he kind of started from that position. So there's not a lot of thinking seemingly involved here. He tattled on himself right away. He had to fly to another country to do something he could have done domestically. And he looks like he has a big head.
I'm so curious now, because they tell us at the beginning of this story that he's an American-German dual citizen, but he goes to Canada. This is an international story, Jack.
Really is. Maybe he just wanted a bunch of stamps on his passport before he got himself, 86th, as Comey would say.
Holiday Road. Neumeyer posted rambling conspiracy theories for months on his Facebook. Maybe these are all Facebook posts. His politics appeared to be an incomprehensible grab bag, according to his social media. He posted, "From the river to the sea." Wait, he was going to firebomb the U.S. Embassy in Tel Aviv, and he posted, "From the river to the sea." He posted, "I'm going to kill you," talking about Elon Musk and Donald Trump. And this is an incoherent rambling. It's a grab bag. It's a mishmash. I know 5 of his posts and can tell you his politics.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's that deep.
A popular anti-Israel rallying cry, along with "Long live the Fourth Reich," but also appeared to support Israel's Eurovision candidate. I can only guess that it's Eurovision, so it's probably pretty left-wing.
He may not have known that was an Israeli either. I don't know. I don't know. This is fucking dumb.
He also posted pro-Russia and anti-Ukraine propaganda, along with overturning British rule of Northern Ireland. Again, I'm not confused about his politics at all here. He said Fourth Reich. Yeah, when it is amazing how many of the anti-Nazi crowd have made their little Reich jokes now, Jack. You know why? Because they don't like Israel, so they're going to embrace them. Anyway, yeah, so we have this asshole who's going to go to prison for a really, 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 really long time. I'm not trying to give the terrorist any ideas, and he is a terrorist. He is a Democrat terrorist. That's what he is.
Yeah. Look at his head looks weirdly big.
Just a heads up for you. The Israelis have been dealing with terrorist bullshit for a long time.
Yeah, and this dumbass is not the craftiest.
And you decided to try to go do this there? I mean, technically, it's our embassy, so it's considered American soil at the time. But if the Jews had gotten a hold of you for terrorism in their country, bruh.
Well, that'd be a short trial and a very quick trip to a ditch.
These people aren't smart, man.
There's so many dummies out there, dude. It's hard to keep up. But they saw this clown coming a mile away, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, he had posted threats on social media. I see this trending down there in the corner of that story. It says Trump slams Putin after Russia's attack. Trump's a little mad at Putin right now because he's blowing up some shit in Ukraine. And Trump's like, we're trying to end this war and you're killing people.
And Putin's like, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah, exactly. He wants to end the war too. And this is a sad reality of war. But if you want one side to capitulate, you can't just pull the modern nonsense of stop being mean to each other. You need one of them to be in a position where they're like, yeah, this is just too much. We got to stop. I'm not supporting Putin on this. I'm just saying, welcome to reality, Don. I know you had it in your head you were going to wrap this up quick. And if Zelensky hadn't been such a douchebag about everything, it probably would have. But
yeah, I put a lot of this on Zelensky and the Ukrainians.
Yeah. Look, and I get it. If they want to keep fighting, I get it. But you're going to lose, and you're just going to get all your people killed. And these are people these are people you were bombing for 8 years before any intervention. Let's not forget that it was the Ukrainian forces that were bombing and killing the people of the Donbass region up until Putin came in.
Yeah.
14,000 lives in that time. What is that, like 3 or 4 a day they were killing? And they're like, but we desperately need this region. So fuck them all. I fuck the whole group. But come on, Don, until you can get that little America's little lapdog to stop barking, he's going to keep getting hit in the nose. I don't know what to tell you. The dumbass region. I mean, with the fall of the Soviet Union, that is such a weird area now, Jack, because they were under Russian rule for 40 years, and some of that was ethnically Russian to begin with, and so then they break it all up, and the CIA gets involved, and now Ukraine is split from the people who still support Russia and the people who are like, no, we want to be America's puppet. I'm fine with them being our puppet, but they need to stop causing problems. You're not going to be an official ally. Sorry. No,
they're way too corrupt. And and they don't listen. So we've already given them way more than enough money and resources, and they still cannot get their shit together. So those little Nazis can fuck right off. If they're not going to listen to us and just fucking end this nightmare, I don't know what to tell them. They're going to eventually lose. The Russians will win.
Yeah, we're not going to go in there and protect them. So go to the table, Vlad. The two, Vlad and Vlod, need to go sit the fuck down and chop up Ukraine and get this shit over with.
Yeah, it sucks for the Ukrainians, but I don't know what to tell you, man. You guys lost a war. And we're not going to come in and put our people in the line of fire for fucking Ukrainians. I'm sorry. We gain nothing by it. You wouldn't even sign the mineral deal, which would have guaranteed a lot more security in the long run than what you're going to end up with, which is nothing.
I'm like really shocked that Trump is shocked by this. If this had been, maybe 2 months ago, I could get Trump being like, what the fuck is he doing? We're working on this. But after what we saw at the White House with Zelensky, he's going to have to be brought to heel. That's just the truth of the matter. Whether we're able to do it or whether Putin does it, you have got to get Zelensky under control. He's out there living his best martyr life. And as long as he's got that going on and the whole of the world going, poor little Vladimir, he's such a good little corrupt shitbag, then Russia's just going to pound him.
Yep.
Anyhow, oh my God, somebody shared video of WNBA stuff today, Jack.
Okay.
I don't watch the WNBA.
Nobody
I don't watch the NBA. If I'm ever watching the NBA, and this goes back to when I was actually much more interested in basketball, I watch the last 5 minutes of a game because the rest of it, basketball almost has the opposite problem of soccer, where in soccer it's so boring because they might score 1 goal a game. And in basketball, I mean, you have games where it's up to 100 points per side. There's just too much going on in the first 45 minutes of the game is worthless to me. So I only watch the very end of it. So when it comes to watching the girls try to play basketball, this video is so sad. And I'm not being mean to the women here. It's just my honest thought when I was watching it. Like, this looks like JV. It doesn't even look like JV ball. This looks like kids when they're first learning to play ball on the street. You're just down at the local court playing. So Angel Reese goes up for a layup, which she misses by a fucking mile. How? I don't know.
Shoots like a girl.
And then there's basically a scrum for the ball. There's no other way to describe what happened. And while you might get a little of that scrummy feeling when men play ball, this just looks chaotic. This looks like, oh my God, I got to get the ball, get the ball, get the ball. It really does look like somebody told them, never let anybody else get the ball. We went and watched my my one granddaughter playing t-ball, and they would tell the little kids who were playing in, they're in the fielding positions, when the ball comes near you, go get it. So anytime the ball would get hit, the entire field would go to where the ball was. It didn't matter if it went to first base, the third baseman, the outfielders, everybody runs over to the ball. And that's what it looked like. I'm like, and these women are bitching that they don't get paid enough? I would rather watch JV basketball.
Well, Monkey, see, first of all, it's a sport, so they're not good at it because, women. Second of all, let's face it, there's going to be a lot of chaos because when women see something they want, they all go for it. You ever seen Black Friday shopping?
Yes. I used to.
It's like that all the time with them. So they're just like, that's mine, and they obsess over it. I'm surprised nobody went up to the coach and started going, excuse me, manager, I have a problem with what just happened here.
Understatement says, cute when children, not so much when 30-year-old lesbians. Yes!
That's a solid point.
It's a very good point. In fairness to ladies here, Jack, and how dare you make me defend women. I worked at Walmart. I've done Black Friday. I did it for 10 years. And we did have some issues. And every time it was men. The ladies, they might push a little bit, but they'd grab what they want and run. One of our managers got punched in the face by 2 dudes fighting over comforters.
Well, those may have been homosexuals.
Yeah, the ladies might get crazy in there, but they don't get as violent. And I know somebody's gonna be like, I got YouTube video. I know. But generally, the violence is the dudes when they get involved. In in that situation, both of them had wives who wanted those comforters. So,
Yep.
and my favorite part of that story is we didn't even sell out of those comforters.
Oh no, that's irrelevant. It's they want that one. It doesn't matter if you got 8 more that are exactly the same.
We ended up having to mark those down. Yeah. So, gentlemen, stop fighting over women's shit. Anyway, what's
Stop
going?
letting your wife put you up to bullshit. It's not worth it. You gotta get killed.
I woke up to this today, Jack. Why is eugenics bad? Most people appear to be eugenists since they attempt to mate with the best person available to them.
Oh my god, what?
And in case anybody thinks I'm making this up, I'll throw it up on the screen here. Yep. Apparently, we're all just running around running DNA tests on our prospective mates, and whoever has the best DNA that we can get with, that's who we go with.
Like, eugenics is about a lot more than physical attractiveness, you fucking
No,
dum-dums.
no. Why is eugenics bad? Okay. Even if you want to be academic about eugenics and go, it's just trying to make the best people for a brighter future. Okay, Hitler. The problem is the implementation, because when you have a system like that, when you're doing that academic bullshit, you get people, like Hitler, who go, we can breed out the Jews, you say.
Well, look, I mean, eugenics was adopted by Hitler from the United States propaganda.
Yep.
So, thanks a lot there, eugenicists in America, including founder of Planned Parenthood.
Sanger. This is a problem with a lot of academic thought. That people hide behind it because, like, it's why Marxism works on colleges and only on colleges. Because in theory, everybody should get everything they need. Sounds great. But in the real fucking world, you can't actually run a society that way.
Societies don't work that way. People are way more greedy than that.
Not to mention his understanding of eugenics is absolutely asinine. Because, like you described, Jack, when we find even if you want to say, yes, we get the best mate we can, you're talking about physical attraction and intellectual / co-living compatibility. It's the hottest person you can put up with that you can land, I think, is that's not eugenics. Even if you want to go, oh, I want blonde children, so I married a blonde woman. Okay, but that's still not eugenics. That's passing your hair trait down. It has nothing to do with intelligence or which is mostly what they Belker use this shit for. But this has nothing to do with like breeding out retards over there in Norway or Switzerland or wherever the hell they did it.
Yeah, you're not trying to breed out the unsavory types, like no more redheads.
Yeah.
No, it's not the same thing.
No, for this to be applicable, you literally would have to be running DNA tests on people for all of their background traits and all of their medical issues. No one is doing that.
No, they're mistaking a romantic comedy for Gattaca.
Yes. But that's the first thing I read when I woke up today. I'm like, oh my God, it's going to be one of those days.
People are so fucking dumb, dude. It's so shocking because you wonder, like, how do these people function day to day if they're this confused about relatively straightforward concepts?
I don't know. I really don't. But it's the internet, man. So, like so many other things, this guy heard a word, no idea what it actually means, and so it's not such a bad idea.
Yeah, suddenly he's an expert.
Oh God. Anyway, moving
Everybody
along.
thinks like a 8-year-old.
You're not wrong about that. Oh my God, such a cute kitty. So I'm scrolling my Twitter, which I shouldn't be doing during a show.
But there's kitty cats.
I really didn't have much to talk about tonight. Just especially the story about the Unabomber wannabe there.
Yeah.
But I like kitty cats. It's not my fault.
I keep thinking of the cats.
I did see Jordan Peterson apparently went on the Jubilee show where they do the little you versus us kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
And it was Christian versus atheists. And
I'm so tired of that shit. It's
Jordan
been done to death.
And that, yeah, I'm with you on that. But Jordan Peterson doesn't even call himself a Christian.
No, he's an academic. He more or less studies the ideas behind Christianity and what the deeper meaning of stories is. He's a borderline folklorist for it.
Yeah. And there's this one kid who's really rude to him because he won't call himself a Christian. And maybe he shouldn't. I don't know what he told this debate, what he was told this debate was going to be. But he's clearly not there to defend Christianity in any kind of solid way. And then you got your normal atheists. Atheists, I hate you. I just want to throw that out there.
They're the most fucking obnoxious people on the planet next to vegans and cyclists.
I would rather hang out with vegans while I'm eating a cheeseburger, listening to them tell me why I'm morally bad for that, than hang out with
they're too physically weak to do anything.
Than to hang out with most atheists.
Atheists, I think, are a bit more likely to lash out because they don't have anything telling them not to. I've met some pretty violent atheists.
The atheists also have this. They are the ultimate left wingers because they are the elites who, I know the truth that you're too dumb to understand.
Oh my God, yes. They're like vegans in that way. They will gladly tell you what atheists are. They'll be like, oh, so are you a churchgoer? Because I'm an atheist.
At least
are you drinking that? Because I'm an atheist.
Now you're gonna make me defend some vegans here. At least with vegans, I understand the moral argument, even if I don't agree with it and think that they're fucking insane.
Yeah.
They are coming from a place of you are harming these things and that is wrong. Atheists are coming from their thing as I'm smarter than you, stupid.
Yeah, I'm smarter than you and I hate my parents. Not all atheists, obviously. There are some normal people that are atheists, but did a priest touch you? Like, come on, man. I don't want to. I have a lot of respect for the atheists that just mind their own. Like, very few people these days are going to try and convert you to whatever their religion is. There are some, but they are so much fewer and far between than they were when me and Monkey were kids. Real quick, though. Thank you, Keldrig. The irony of eugenics is if you follow through such specialized breeding for long enough, you end up with severe genetic abnormalities anyways. Yeah, you need a diverse pool of genetics or you end up straight to inbreeding. It's a path that's why it's a dead science. It doesn't end well.
Yeah, again, you're right. Not all atheists, and I should be nicer about that, but the ones who speak up, and it seems that so many of them are so willing at any time, and just shut up, keep it to yourself.
Yeah, there's a lot more amazing atheists than they are normal people, atheists. I can't even think of an example. I'm sure that there's probably some atheists in our audience that are totally cool because they watch this show, so they're just normal people going about their day, but they don't want to hear about Jesus and shit like that. I get that, fine.
Well,
but that's not the people we're talking about. Those are not the normal atheists.
You know what you never see from the atheists? Them arguing with agnostics.
Oh, I was thinking churches.
They have their churches. It's called social media.
I thought you were going to say Scientology.
They will never, they never go and have massive arguments with agnostics who will point at them like I'm about to and go, you're just as religious as the people who actually are religious. Because you have to have a belief. In order to be atheist, you have to believe there's no God.
Yeah,
Which,
they're like the mirror universe sort of Christians. They have fundamentalists who will go out and spread the word of the anti-God,
yes,
the no God.
it takes belief to be an atheist, and they won't even admit that. And
Well, no, because then it sounds like a religion, and that's what mom and dad used to drag them to every Sunday.
but this is why they annoy me so much, because they're so superior. I'm so smarter than you. Then why are you still engaging in a belief system you can't prove?
Yeah, you can't prove God doesn't exist.
Nope.
As much as you want to say you can, you really can't. So
Toasted, real quick. Toasted, thank you. Is AIU the only good atheist out there? AIU is a misogynistic moron masquerading and trying to ride the anti-atheist or the anti-religion, specifically anti-Christian wave of 2012 YouTube.
I did it quite successfully for a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I look, if you don't believe in God, that's fine. Nobody cares anymore. It's not a huge deal. There were plenty of people that used to go to church that didn't believe in God. They just went for the social aspect or because it was expected, various cultural reasons. But a lot of people didn't believe in God. A lot of people, you don't have to be a Christian. You don't have to be a Jew. You don't have to be a Hindu. That's the great thing about America. Nobody wants to hear about your non-belief or your belief. Nobody.
No.
It's fucking annoying.
In fairness to the people that were on this, real quick, who's AIU? It's Atheism is Unstoppable. The people who went on this Jubilee thing, they were invited there specifically to be those douchebag atheists. So whatever.
Well, it's not hard to find them in the college.
But Hitchens was brought up just a little bit ago. I actually have some respect for Hitchens because he might not have agreed with religion, but he still was respectful about things. He didn't just get up there and go, you fucking stupid Christians. He had intellectual discussions, and all of these people think they're him.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Real quick, thank you. Toasted. Christian nationalists do get me annoyed, to be fair. Anybody pushing their religion for anything annoys me.
No, fundamentalism in general is irritating.
Thank you, the infamous Mr. Bloodia. I'm not sure how to say that. There's a difference between fedora lords, anti-theists, and the Church of Satan chuckle fucks. But they share the same cringe, LOL. You're not wrong.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're saying is like, if you're a fundamentalist of any belief, you're obnoxious.
Most of what you see on social media, I'm just an atheist, they actually are anti-theists and specifically anti-Christian anti-theists. They just hate that. Very few of them will be like, I hate Muslims. That at least I can give AIU that, is that he's consistent on disliking Muslims as well as Christians.
Yeah.
But notice the Jubilee topic. Christian versus atheist. They sure as fuck didn't do Muslim versus atheist.
Oh, that would be a very fiery debate.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. And all of those atheists from their little liberal colleges would be like, I disagree with you, but I respect you so very much because all cultures are equal.
Yeah, it's amazing how they're only mad at Christians and they dislike Jews for a different reason. But yeah, it's much like socialism. It's a religion, but it's a secular religion, and they have their own tenets and dogma. They have their own consequences for even questioning that dogma, and they think they are right through some unearned moral superiority.
Danger says, though, these people will attack the religion of turn the other cheek. How brave, right?
Yeah, that's why they go after Christians a lot. Is because they know they can get away with it, and Christians rarely fight back anymore.
Toasted, thank you. Big L on Jubilee for not having a Christian on this. True, yeah, they should have actually had somebody who identifies that way.
Yeah.
The other thing, and this one is actually kind of funny to me because they've started to where they'll attack Jews more, but they never attack Judaism. Have you noticed that?
Oh, they don't really care, but most people don't really know anything about Judaism. They just believe the conspiracies about the Jews. They don't
Yeah.
actually look into the religion at all because they
Yeah.
just assume it's like Christianity, but it's really not.
They'll bring up like the USS Liberty, but not Abraham, which is weird when you're going to attack Jews for their religion.
A little
Go
bit
ahead, atheists. Just be a little bit consistent once in a while.
consistency, man. Now I got to do homework.
Same thing with Islam. No, they won't even attack Islam in any manner. No.
No, you attack brown people that will fight back. Oh,
No, they were taught after the September 11th attack that Muslims are the greatest people to ever live, which is really weird. This would be like, can you imagine, Jack, 10 years after Pearl Harbor, everybody going, don't blame the Japanese for that. But that would be a consistent world, and we don't live in one.
no, we live in a world full of dum-dums and weirdos.
Oh my God. I'm sure I had other topics that I saw today, but I'm drawing a blank on them. Although I do want to talk about one. Pedro Pascal.
Oh God, I'm so tired of hearing about this guy.
Me too. And I've been wondering, why the fuck is this guy in everything?
Because he made a little bit of a splash on his appearance on Game of Thrones, and ever since then, he is the it guy. He's ethnic, he's a big leftist, and he doesn't know when to shut up. And that is pretty much leftism right there.
On the screen is a still from Disparu's latest video, The Future of Masculinity in Movies, Pedro Pascal. I wish I could show the thumbnail. I meant to, but I went too far. It's a couple of pictures of Pedro, and it says girl boss across it. And he makes the argument that Pedro here, the reason he's being pushed so hard by the left is that he's a substitute for women. Let me get this real fast. Keldrick, thank you. Coming from a Christian perspective, most atheists I talk to in my day-to-day life, fine and normal people. Conversely, I have also met Christians who could make somebody anti-Christian. The internet just gives annoying retards on both sides a megaphone. I am not saying there's not fundamentalist Christians out there who are fucking annoying.
Yeah.
But how do I put this? They are a shrinking minority.
Yeah, look at like Westboro Baptist. Once the leader guy died, it pretty much fell apart. And they tend to have that kind of cult of personality where they have a speaker that kind of holds everything together. Jonestown was like that, except for the Flavor Aid. People kind of drift in and out, but largely they end up being kind of small because Christianity is dying in the United States.
And most of the fundamental Christians that I see on Twitter and stuff, they're preaching to the choir. They're not finding an atheist and attacking them, where the atheist, they don't just preach to themselves. They have to go find the Christians and yell at them. So I hear what you're saying, but I do see a difference. And as somebody who has no dog in this fight, I don't believe or disbelieve because I don't know. I have my thoughts, Jack. We were planted here by aliens, and to the people that came before us, that might seem like gods.
Oh, Monkey, you let your dyslexia slip in again. You said you have no dog in this fight. I think you meant God.
I have no God in this fight. That's true too. Bullwinkle, thank you. The only channel I watch for this type of content is Logic. And I like Logic. He's another one who's not so aggressively just rude.
He's not insufferable.
No, yeah, that's a great way of putting it.
Yeah, like I can watch his videos, no problem. That doesn't offend me, and it points out like things that he doesn't like or that he thinks are inconsistent. Fine, that's all well and good. And I like his 3D glasses.
Is Logic still making videos?
I don't know, but I know most of his videos are still kicking around. I think he largely disappeared after the apocalypse.
Thank you, the infamous Mr. Blood. Pedro is Hollywood's answer to a lack of non-toxic manliness. All the SSRI women are calling him daddy, LOL. Yeah, apparently they're calling him internet daddy, which
he's not that good looking.
No.
I mean, he looks like some average like neighborhood dad.
I wouldn't even no. See, you're being way too nice. He looks like an average bottom. They put him in movies and put big jackets on him because he's built like a little girl.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I am not convinced he's straight.
He's not straight.
I don't really care. Oh, he's not?
No. And I didn't know.
That.
See, me neither. That's why watching Pedro's video, Disparu's video on Pedro here, it becomes very clear why they're pushing him. Because he is a non-threatening little feminist bitch boy.
Oh.
Yeah. Look at him. He's not sure. Yeah, exactly. He is.
Well, look, I had my suspicions, but my gaydar doesn't work very well because I'm kind of like, well, if he's not on my team, it's not competition, so I don't really care.
Well, here's my problem with it. We know, look, the arts tend to attract gay guys. Why? Yeah. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's very theatrical, which women like to be. And that's the trait the gays have, too, is they like to be very ta-da!
You know what attracted me to theater?
The gays?
And no, not my gay hair.
Oh.
All of the women involved.
Yeah, there's tons of women in theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how so many gay men end up there. It's nicer for the straight guys in theater because you have no competition. You are the manliest thing around, and they're all like, "Oh, you're so dreamy."
See, gay men understand something that women don't. There's a time and a place to be dramatic and have all your drama, and that's on a stage to entertain people. And then you get it out of your system, and you go about your day and be normal. Women don't get that, so they're dramatic all the time. That's why even gay men hate women.
What I was getting at with Pedro here, though, is that we know that Hollywood actors, a lot of them have been gay over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Big name actors. Rock Hudson. Remember
Hudson
him?
Famously would go trolling for young men.
But the persona that was put out about him was that he was a manly man. People, his gay proclivities were hidden until he pops up with AIDS.
Yeah, which anybody in Hollywood could have told you that'd be expected because he was a risk taker.
Yeah.
He went out and hooked up with random people.
But we used to, even with the gay guys portraying the manly men on screen, you kept that narrative up when it came to their private life. Like, look at Cary Grant out here. He's a man's man. When he was probably like Pedro, biting a pillow now and then. Now it's like, look at this internet daddy. And seriously, Jack, you should watch this video because some of the stuff you see Pedro do, I wonder if I can find just a bit of the dancing. Or here we can pop up to this where this is a promo for a new movie, Jack.
Oh, promo.
It's a homo for a new movie. Look at both Pedro and Chris Evans there. It's supposed to be a movie where Pedro hooks up with, what's that ugly chick's name? Dakota Fanning.
Oh.
And
Oh,
then
is she ugly now? I don't know.
she's always been ugly, dude.
I don't even know who that is. So
She's the chick from 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the one who can't act with the
Overrated.
shit. And then they put her in that Madam Web movie.
God, that movie was so bad. She looks so unattractive just based on that. Then she has like really saggy boobs already.
Okay, and I should be fair. She's not ugly, ugly. Somebody go, you're calling her ugly? She's an act. Yeah, she's fine, but by Hollywood standards, she is fucking ugly. Dakota Johnson, thank you, Dakota Johnson. By Hollywood standards, that's an ugly woman. She should be on British television.
Oh, we're talking about Dakota Johnson?
Johnson, yeah. Sorry, I said Fanning. That was a child actress, if I remember right.
Yeah, she's got weird boobs.
Stop naming your kids Dakota. It's weird.
Yeah, that's are they north or south? I can't have just partial information, you guys.
Yeah. Thank you, Logical Male. No, Pedro is straight. If you saw him feeling all over his female co-star on the Fantastic Four casting call, and it shows they are a real couple. Yeah, Pedro Pascal had to reach over and grab his female co-star's arm to comfort him during the Comic-Con panel the one year.
God. I'm pretty sure one of Pedro's siblings is trans.
Pedro is gayer than 8 guys blowing 9 guys.
Dakota Johnson is okay in certain pictures. Other pictures, she's kind of rough looking.
She's not very attractive by Hollywood standards.
By Hollywood standards, no, she's like a 5.
Yeah,
but by my Midwestern standards, lose a little bit of weight and we'll talk, honey.
But look at this picture. This picture is so telling. You notice that Chris is actually kind of leaned into Pedro a bit there. I didn't realize Chris was gay.
Well, I mean, I've seen him in movies. He's a little gay. He's kind of one of those gay for the stay kind of things.
I guess. She is a prop here, as the 2 gay guys are trying to get you to believe they're men. And that's fine. Be gay. But Hollywood, could you stop pushing this? And Disparu's whole point here is that Hollywood couldn't get the feminist bullshit through with their girl bosses. So they just switched to feminine men. Pedro's in fucking everything. Can anybody explain to me why John Krasinski doesn't get the part as Mr. Fantastic? Why you don't do everything you can? He was mentioned as being Mr. Fantastic before he played that in Multiverse of Madness. Yeah. People were like, he would be great for this. And he did fine. Granted, he didn't have to do that much in that, but he looks the part. He does it fine. And then they're like, no, we need estrogen in this character. And so they go and get Pedro.
They need a man who's not threatening, who's not masculine. John Krasinski has too much masculinity in him from all the times he was playing like Jack Ryan and various other roles. They don't like that.
Thank you, the infamous Mr. Blood. Pedro is straight and as threatening as a rubber knife. Yeah. His there's a whole lot of stuff in this video. Oh, wait, there was the dancing. I gotta find it. There. All right. Sorry, Disparu. I'm gonna watch just a touch of your video.
Pedro Pascal. There's a small number of middle-aged housewives and SSRIs who look at someone that effeminate and think that's my perfect guy, who don't realize that even if he was in their position, they'd still be a favorite guy when he gets a bad rep.
Did you catch the dance in there?
Realize that even if he was in their position, they'd still be a...
There he is. Your masculine internet daddy dancing with his rainbow stick.
It's a shaft, thank you.
Wolfgang, thank you. What about what about the ninth guy? Maybe the eights are screaming. Oh, look, that's just my thing when I say when I'm talking about gay people. Yeah, but this is what they want, Jack. So what they're going to do is instead of girl bosses, which you know what, I'll be glad to see that. The end of girl boss is so overdue,
right?
But
Hollywood just does not want that trend to die.
But replacing it with flamboyantly gay guy is not the way to go either.
It's not the recipe for success they're hoping for.
How about this? Stop pushing these people as what we need to live up to. I don't have a problem with Pedro Pascal being in movies. I just won't watch them. What I do have a problem with is then having to hear this little motherfucker come out and tell me how to be a man. You're a bitch, dude. Thank you, The Logical Male. That's the point. Fantastic Four has 3 estrogen males and 1 leading masculine female, Susan Storm. Who's playing Sue Storm in the new one?
I don't know, some not attractive woman.
I'll be honest, I haven't even paid attention.
I forget her name. She's a somebody.
But anyway, yeah, we don't need to replace girl bosses with boy girl bosses. How about just have men or have your little gay Mr. Fantastic. Just tell him to shut the fuck up.
It's Vanessa Kirby.
Vanessa Kirby. Is she ugly? I'm not familiar with her.
She's okay.
Is she manly looking?
She looks like she's a handful.
Oh my, she's got a long face.
Yeah, she's not ugly, but she looks like she's probably a giant cunt.
She looks like Amber Heard got put in a Play-Doh stretch factory kind of thing.
Well, like I said, she's okay looking.
I gotta repeat a joke I heard on Gutfeld the other day, because apparently Amber Heard has had twins. And Gutfeld said, "What a surprise, Amber dropping a deuce."
Whose kids are they?
I don't know. Elon's maybe.
Well, everybody's having Elon's babies these days.
She looks like a younger Amber Heard. Yeah, she has some Amber Heard. Amber's prettier than she is. She has a much longer face.
Amber's fatter than this chick.
Okay.
Moo.
Amber Heard isn't fat.
Moo. You can't tell me that. Just because she just had the kids doesn't make her not fat.
Jump to 49 seconds in the video for a more gay dancing clip. Well, damn it. Now I got to open the video back up. Hang on just a second.
More gay?
It is. I will say this. I don't pay a lot of attention to what stars say. So a lot of Pedro's positions have escaped me to this point.
He's just a generic leftist. It's just like the guy that plays the Hulk.
Oh, Mark Ruffalo?
Yeah, because his name just blanked on me. I was like, Lou Ferrigno. No, yeah. He's like Mark Ruffalo. He's another Hollywood bitch.
Yeah, Jack. For the people who are telling me Pedro's straight, yeah, I remember this part of the video. We're gonna watch just a little bit more of the dancing, Jack. Pay attention, folks. This is your internet daddy. This is who women want men to be.
And for good reason. I can't help wondering why, when they see reality, I don't know who's going to be most disappointed in that clip. The fans that call him daddy or his mom.
You know when he takes the big, long lick of the pole? Yeah.
Yeah, it came through a bit choppy, but do not replay it. We got the idea.
That should not have come through choppy. Oh, I'm on the wrong internet. That's why it came through choppy. My bad.
No, for this one, you're on the right internet.
Hang on.
I can't help wondering why, when they see...
There we go. We'll just do a screenshot right there.
Oh, no, that's playing perfectly now.
As he slowly licks up the fake dick he's holding. Like a man.
Yeah, like real men do, I guess.
I'm and now they're trying to convince women and men that this is what women want. What women want is a guy who licks dick. Why are women so unhappy these days? You know, it's a natural thing for women to want a man who can protect them. That's it. But that's comedy, right? Yeah, look, there is a difference when somebody's making like gay jokes and stuff or doing it to be funny. This dude is just enjoying his moment. Check Streamlabs. I will do that. This guy's just living his best fantasy life. I have to sneeze.
Bless you.
Somewhere Phoebe just peed herself.
Yeah. Oh my God. I had the cat laying on my chest because I was laying down earlier. And I had to sneeze. I turned my head away from her and I sneeze. And she jumps up and takes off. Like, you sneeze on me. You sneezed in my face. But
Phoebe,
that's okay. I sneeze and it's like the giant's attacking.
Phoebe has literally sneezed in my mouth.
Yeah, it's fucking gross.
I was talking and I was holding her like a baby and I was looking at her and she sneezed as I was speaking. I'm like, oh, I can feel it on my lips.
Yeah. Ugh.
But if I sneeze, she takes off like somebody's firing at her. Toasted, thank you. Atheist channel Islam, my eyes are doing really bad tonight. I apologize. Atheist channels ignore Islam, claiming either they don't know much about the religion or it's not as big an issue in the West. UK says otherwise. Christian nationalism is annoying, but more of an online thing than something in real life. Groypers are good at that, I think is what that's supposed to say. It says are good at that, but thank you for the donation and sorry about my reading. Thank you, Wolfgang. As a sailor, I'm secure in my sense of masculinity. I was told the other day that the Village People came out and said the song YMCA wasn't even about gay stuff. And I'm like, come on, stop it.
Oh, they've been saying that for years.
It's bullshit.
I don't know, because that, I mean, you could interpret it a different way, but I think we all know it's hookup culture. Whether it's gay, straight, or whatever, but it's a song about hookups. Don't try to dress it up. The song's been around for like 40 years.
Yeah,
if it wasn't about that at the beginning, it's definitely about that now.
The 5 or 6, I forget how many are part of the group. Gay men, flamboyantly gay men, sing about how fun it is to go stay at the Y. Remember, the YWCA used to be a thing too.
Yeah.
They didn't say it was fun to stay at the YWCA. They like going and hanging out with the guys at the YMCA.
Well, I told you that even the gay dudes don't really like putting up with women's bullshit for too long.
Come on, just be honest about it. It's a gay anthem. It's still a catchy song that everybody loves. You did more to promote gay culture than all of the activists of the 2000s combined.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Anyway.
Yeah, them and Liberace.
Yes. I just love, I miss the days of the 80s, especially the late 80s, when suddenly all of these stars are willing to admit they're gay. And there'd be headlines, Boy George is gay. Like, really?
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
George Michael likes the cock. No.
No. Like George Michael, I could kind of get, okay? If you didn't pay any attention to the music videos ever, or listen to him talk, and you just heard some songs on the radio, fine, whatever. I'll give you that one. But you cannot tell me you did not know Liberace was gay.
Right?
There's no way. That dude did everything except put up the bat signal of a wiener.
Bullwinkle, thank you. One last comment on Logic. He debunks scams. Religion is not his focus, and he's still very active. Oh, cool. I'll have to check him out. I haven't checked out Logic in a long time. I think the last time I really paid attention to Logic was when he bitch slapped Armored Skeptic.
That was hilarious.
Oh, one of my favorite takedown videos ever.
Yeah.
Jack, what do you want to talk about tonight?
I don't know. What do you
Okay,
wanna
cool,
talk
cool.
about?
Have you seen the internet show that's like a challenge to the View?
No, there's harpies on the internet?
Yeah, fuck. Jillian Michaels is the Barbara Walters of it,
Okay.
and they had. I don't know if it's a set group of women. Can I find the show?
While you're looking that up, did you see where Phil Robertson died?
I did. Phil Robertson of Duck Dynasty fame passed away.
Yeah, he had Alzheimer's. That's tragic. He seemed like a nice guy, pretty heavy on the religion stuff. Not really my thing, but seemed like a really nice dude. And everybody that seemed to have encountered him said nice things about the guy. Some people just didn't like his religiosity, but nice guy, and I feel bad for his family.
Fuck, I can't find the show. Anyway, it's basically an internet version of The View, and their first episode, I found out about it watching Actual Justice Warrior. He did a video about how Anna Kasparian and this one Asian co-host on the show start sparring with each other. And it's funny because they're both arguing liberal topics, but you're just not liberal enough. PBD podcast. All right. Is that what PBD? What does PBD stand for?
Pussy bumping dykes. Sorry, I don't know what's wrong with me today.
This is a dude, man.
Is that a dude on their show?
No, this is just some guy. All right, fair enough. Patrick Bet David. Why are people telling me to go look at this thing? The Take. That's it. That's it. I'm almost positive that's it. The Take.
I mean, I've seen The View. It can't be much worse.
This is not the right one. I don't even care what it's called anymore. I just thought it was funny that women are like, what we really need is women all talking on YouTube
about leftist nonsense.
The thing is at least with like Jillian Michaels is not a smart woman. Sorry, Jillian. I've seen some of your podcasting stuff. You know Mike Rowe, okay?
I kind of want to bang her. Not gonna lie. I don't know why.
You have the wrong genitals for that.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, which kind of makes me want to bang her more. But she's not even that attractive. It's just something about her that I'm like, I want to have sex with her. And as usual, she doesn't want to have sex with me.
She's not a far lefty, but she's the modern I'm not real left kind of thing where it's still left. Like Donald Trump. I know some of you hate this. He's not a conservative in any manner. Even his big, beautiful budget is projected to add $2 trillion to the deficit each year for the next 5 years. That's not conservative in any manner. And I was right. Massey is one of the Republicans who voted against it. Ooh, by the way, apparently got some contact lenses because I saw a video of him and he's not wearing his glasses and I didn't even recognize him at first.
Oh, was he crawling around on the floor going, I can't find my glasses like Velma?
It would have been better if he was.
Yeah.
Mighty Balzac, thank you. Steam rooms are great for your skin, clears your pores. Absolutely no homo. Yeah.
Yeah, except for all the old fat dudes that sit in there just wanting to show you their junk.
Wolfgang asks, is it gay to shower or bathe with multiple men? Only if you're doing it for fun.
It depends how many shower heads there are.
I mean,
there's one for each of you and everybody's under their own. It's not gay. It's when you're like, hello, and starts lathering each other up. Yeah, then it gets a little gay.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are communal shower things where sometimes guys are forced to shower with other guys. If you enjoy it, gay. If you're like, I'm not, please don't let me see a wiener, then you're not gay. It's fine.
If you look forward to it and you purposely try and bump into people's wieners, then you're gay.
If you're playing grab ass in a communal shower, you're gay. It should be like urinals where you just know the behavior you're not supposed to do.
Yeah. You have the not gay buffer zone too.
Yeah. The urinal test. I've never seen a man fail the urinal test where women don't understand it. For those of you who don't know what the urinal test is, it's this thing. It's been a meme online forever, where it shows a group of urinals in different amounts. I think it's 3 and then 5, and it's like, where do you pee based on where somebody else is standing? And like, if it's the 3 urinals and somebody's in the left one, you don't go to the middle. You go to the far right. It's just, and no man has to be told this. We just all know. Wolfgang, thank you. Shower, military, bathe, Japanese, onsen. Okay. I don't know what that means, bro.
Yeah, are those command words for some shenanery?
Did I just trigger a bomb or something? That is so you don't cross the streams. Yes, and we all know it. All men know this. And nobody has to be told, but women are like, I don't get it. I've had this talk with my wife. Like, well, why wouldn't you stand next to him? By the way, if you have 3 urinals and there's a guy in the left one and a guy in the right one, you go in the stall. Unless the stalls are all taken up. That middle urinal is off limits except in the most severe case.
Yeah, it better be a dire, noticeable emergency.
Mm-hmm. And all men just know this. Meanwhile, at sports stadiums, they just like, here's a trough to piss in. There's nothing more uncomfortable than needing to pee at a football or baseball stadium, and you go in there and there's a trough.
Oh man, I hate the trough. You got to worry about splash because those things never drain properly.
It's gross. What kind of medieval throwback is the trough?
Yeah, troughs are for pigs to eat out of, not for people to pee in.
What, Jen? I will have you know, monkey. Have me know what? See, damn women. Have a whole thought. I gotta scroll up, see what Jen said. You didn't say anything else. You're just fucking with my head now. Oh, well, unless the dude is a psycho. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, psychos will pee right next to you and make eye contact with you while you're peeing.
And that's the thing that women don't seem to get, is that it's not about gay. It's that guy doesn't get the rules. There's something wrong with him. If I'm standing at the left urinal and a gay guy pees on the right urinal, cool. But if he goes to the middle one, that is no longer a gay guy. That is a psychopath.
Yeah.
That's a dude that's going to kill me.
Oh, quite likely. Yeah.
And eat my wiener on a hot dog bun. For symmetry. Isn't it weird that they had to make bun length hot dogs after they started making buns? Shouldn't the buns have been bun length anyway, or hot dog length anyway?
I don't know. That seems like just one of those things that was meant to be, like Reese's peanut butter cups. That was just some angelic decision made by God to gift to us. Like, I shall give you 2 things separately that shall be combined into one majestic product.
I've never had a hot dog and been like, man, I wish there was more bun here.
Sometimes you get those hot dogs that are like the weird length. You know what I mean? Like the larger ones, usually like not the Hebrew Nationals, but there's a brand that makes them so that they're just you got an inch on either side of the bun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a hot dog person, but I understand the importance of proper placement with your homosexual euphemisms.
Well, I mean, maybe cutting it up for kids for like when you have it with mac and cheese and stuff, you have hot dogs without buns. But buns are an integral part of hot dog experience for most people, especially once you get older. The bun should fit the hot dog to begin with. It shouldn't be an afterthought to have to make the hot dog fit the bun. I want hot dog length buns to come out because I don't need a bigger hot dog. I just need a smaller bun.
Well, what if you need a bigger bun? I think buns should come into a variety of sizes.
Just make me one that fits the normal fucking thing.
Nope, that'll never happen, dude. You know that. It's always got to be a little bit either too big or too small.
Danger says pack of 8 hot dogs, pack of 6 buns. Yeah, they fixed that by making the bun bag 10 at one point, and now it's down to where it's 8 and 8 finally here.
Yeah, that was just a scam to sell more.
Yeah, we don't need that. Wasn't there a movie or a TV show where somebody actually takes out the extra hot dog buns and leaves them?
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me.
I see it in my head, but I can't see the actor who's doing it. I don't think it was in Falling Down, but somebody having a falling down moment. Cut off the excess bun. It shouldn't be up to me. Oh, Father of the Bride. Yes, that's what it was. Steve Martin in Father of the Bride does it. But I get the idea you can cut off the bun, but why? That's just wasteful.
Well, let's face it. Hot dogs are just poorly cloned sausage.
True. I mean, it is a sausage. That's why I love hot dogs. Are so gross. Like, do you eat sausage? Yeah, it's great.
See, I can't eat either one. So they both upset my stomach. I'm very delicate with my food.
All right, Pedro.
Yeah. No semen either. But no, I'm not a big fan of the taste of most hot dogs because of the nitrates. If you get like one of the ones that aren't prepackaged in the store, they're generally better. But yeah, I'm not a big hot dog fan. I don't really like eating rat, I guess.
If that's what rat tastes like, I'm gonna eat a lot more of it because I love hot dogs.
Yeah.
You'll never gross. I love people who try to gross me out. Do you know what's in a hot dog? Like, I don't fucking care. It tastes good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, same thing with sausage. A bunch of spices and meat. Who fucking cares? Probably some human fingers. I don't know. But
they tried that shit.
Not my thing.
They tried that shit with Taco Bell. Like, it's grade C meat. I'm like, is that why it tastes so good?
Yeah. Well, the one time they analyzed it was like kangaroo meat. I'm like, kangaroos are delicious.
Yeah. You're not going to gross me out with what I'm eating if it tastes good. I would rather eat a hot dog and people just tell me the whole time the nasty shit in it than ever put a fucking Brussels sprout in my mouth.
Oh, yeah. Brussels sprouts are the devil's testicles.
Yep.
Those things are gross.
DP, thank you, says, this gay shit is relevant. How? I don't know. Figure it out for yourself.
We didn't say we're doing relevant stuff.
You came here for relevance? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I think you misdialed.
Oh, yeah. I don't care. Look, it would be one thing, Jack, if they said this is people. That would be my cutoff. But no. I'm not eating people. I don't care how good it is.
I won't even eat an abo or a dum-dum. So...
yeah, but
they're not people.
If I'm on a desert island with a retard and a cow, I'm going for the cow.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
And you could just have the tard rip it apart for you with their superhuman strength. I mean, like a bird.
Monk would love the rat burgers in Demolition Man. If they tasted good, why wouldn't you? Do you have some love of rats? You cut out the meat and make it tasty? That'd be good.
Yeah, you get the right seasoning.
Yeah.
But I can't eat like hot dogs because the nitrates usually fuck up my stomach real bad.
Oh, gotcha.
Like
yeah.
Stomach cramps. And the spices they use in sausage really fuck up my gut. And I don't want to sit on a toilet for an hour, 20 minutes after I just ate something that's like mildly okay to eat. Because I don't particularly like the taste of either one either. So, it's just I'm just picky with my food.
How is not liking hot dogs like Pedro? Pedro loves gobbling footlongs. I was calling him a girl for not being able to stomach it. That's all.
Yeah.
He got it. He got it. Oh my God. See, I like these kind of conversations, Jack. I have no idea where this is headed, and it's fun for me.
We get derailed very easily around here.
Well,
Did you hear about that the prosecutor in New York?
Which one?
Okay, so there's a hang on, let me pull up the article. This New York prosecutor targeted her soon-to-be ex-husband
Oh,
to try and get him arrested.
on what grounds?
She's a twat waffle.
No. Yeah, that part I got, but I meant what's her official stance.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I got the article.
Although
here.
I would love to read a court filing. I arrested him because I'm a twat waffle. I'd be like, at least she's honest.
Assistant District Attorney Amanda Goun, Goun, masterminded a scheme to have award-winning healthcare journalist Joseph Goldstein arrested in a bitter custody war over their 2 young children. She works obviously for the DA's office. He works for the New York Times. According
All
to
right,
this,
I'm just going to say this. I'm okay with arresting him just knowing he works for the New York Times.
well, yeah, I mean, he's clearly a lying piece of shit. So, according to the searing 62-page federal complaint filed earlier this month, ADA Goun allegedly had Goldstein, her husband of 7 years, falsely arrested on trumped-up felony assault and child endangerment charges in 2022 in a calculated bid to seize full custody of their kids. But the lawsuit goes further, accusing Goun not just of deception, but of corruption, because she got friends involved.
Wow.
Rather than resolve the family court proceedings through lawful and ethical means, defendant Goun exploited her prosecutorial power and corrupted multiple law enforcement agencies to destroy her husband's life and career. The suit suggests she used her status within the ADA's office to pressure prosecutors and NYPD officers into pursuing charges that responding police initially deemed unwarranted.
Real quick, Cannibal says Costco hot dogs are so good. If they had one in my town, I'd be there every day. I've heard very good things about them, but I've never even been to a Costco, so I'm gonna have to make a trip for a hot dog.
Yeah, Costco hot dogs are good. You'll have to get a membership to get in now because they used to just let you in if you were going to go get food, but they've started kind of cracking down on that. But yeah, their hot dogs are really good. Like I said, I could eat like one, and after that, I'm gonna probably be like wishing I could vomit, which is my least favorite thing in the universe.
So keep going with the story here.
What began as a contentious divorce quickly escalated into what Goldstein's attorney calls a coordinated, unconstitutional effort to have him arrested, publicly humiliated, and cut off from his children. They met in 2014, and she went to the DA's office in 2018 after plopping out some kids. But by 2022, the marriage was collapsing, and according to the suit, so was the boundary between her professional role and her personal vendetta. Ooh, that sounds awesome.
Sorry, I just an aside here. With the way our system is set up, don't we kind of encourage this behavior, lying about your spouse to get your kid, and men and women? Because
yeah,
this actually reminds me of a 48 Hours I watched last night, where a guy and a chick, they have a baby. They weren't even a couple, Jack. They hooked up a little bit. She ended up pregnant. They tried to make it work. It didn't.
Yeah, of course.
And he ends up planting a gun and drugs in her car.
Wow.
And then calls the police, and they know afterwards that he actually did it because he ends up killing her. That's why they're in 48 Hours.
Yeah.
But it was all over the custody of their daughter.
There's some really fucked up people out there, man. And this is one of the problems we have with hookup culture.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not getting married, you're not really devoting the time to get to know who you're banging. You're just having fun. And then they end up pregnant, and you try and make it something bigger, and you're totally incompatible.
And when you bring kids into it, I mean, I know there's a lot of people who don't actually like their kids, and you're horrible people.
Yeah.
But men and women love their children, and you start hitting them there.
You are
Ugh.
attacking a very deep-seated natural hardwiring
Yeah.
for people to protect their children. And you do
And
not really want to do that. That is gross and very dangerous.
believe me, guys, I'm not here like I have all the answers because I don't. I don't know how you solve that problem except having society, stop putting yourself first, put your kids first, fuckers.
Let me spitball an idea. What if we declare women are property?
That might help.
Just say it's an idea. Has society reviewed that one yet?
For the record, I'm not against divorce. I'm not a Crowder here where like the divorce is always wrong. An abusive relationship, sure, but let's be honest, the majority of relationships just break up because like I don't like you anymore.
Yeah, look, people do grow apart. I understand that. They go through different things in their lives, and sometimes they just can't make it work. Fine. But the problem is that most people don't get to know who they're marrying before they get married. They really
And
don't. They know
you know,
superficial stuff, but they don't really get to the core of it.
here's my problem with that. And you're not wrong, but we have the entirety of human history where you have couples that lasted all the way till death do us part who didn't even meet before they got arranged into be married.
Yeah. Yeah. Arranged marriages are actually slightly more successful than other ones.
And the problem as I see it, it's not just that they don't know each other because you can learn about each other. You know each other a little bit. You clearly had something in common. You could make it, but it's all about the me now. It's not the kid. It's me.
Yeah.
I just can't put up with you anymore. Why? We grew apart. You have a kid.
Yeah. Especially once you have kids, marriage is not about me, it's about we.
Yeah, suck it up.
And you have to go through a lot in life. It's nice to have somebody there that's got your back.
I shouldn't have to be miserable.
Yeah, we've gotten into this obsessed culture of self-esteem and self-worth.
Yes.
I'm sorry, you're not that exciting. You're really not. Most people are not that exciting. So suck it up. You have some differences. Look, my grandfather had been gassed when back in the 50s. So he had a lot of respiratory issues. So they had to have separate bedrooms, or she wasn't going to sleep because he had a machine that had to run all night. So, but that worked out really well for them because if they wanted to fool around, they did it in one room, then they separated. I don't want to know that, but they had separate bedrooms. I know married people that have they take the extra room in their house and they make it like, okay, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that's your space. You get to do your stuff in there. And then 3 days a week, I get to do my stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have enough rooms, you can have your own room. I know some very well-off people. They each have their own TV room. It's very impressive, actually.
I think TV is part of the problem too, because it used to be men would go do men things and then come home, and then women would do their women things, and then you get together for dinner, and then you went and did your man or woman things until man would read the paper while she's knitting, and we've just forced people together.
Yeah, they were forced to interact with each other and put up with each other, and they weren't told by every outlet that they should hate each other.
Me and my wife are both in this house most of the time. She works from home, Jack. So you would think, oh, we see each other all the time. I see Lady Monkey most days, maybe for 2 hours if you put all the time together. Because she likes TV shows I don't give a rat's ass about, and I like video games.
Yeah.
And then when we have stuff to do or share, then we do that, and then we have our own lives. It's this weird, nonsensical fairy tale bullshit about once we find each other, we're just going to want to spend every waking moment together. No.
Yeah, the first sign of trouble, you cut and run. No,
I don't even like being with myself 24/7. That's why I watch videos and read and play video games to get out of my own fucking head.
Yeah, I get that. And that's normal, I think. People, if you sit around and have nothing to do, you start dwelling on things, you start catastrophizing. everything gets to be more serious than it is, deeper than it is, and then things go off the rails really fast.
When I'd go to my dad's house, like if it was for Christmas or something, the whole family's all together pretty much the whole time. But if you just stopped by dad's house, he would be out in the garage doing woodworking shit, and she would be in the house doing whatever she was doing. And if they needed each other, they'd come talk to each other. And otherwise, unless they were going out somewhere, they did their own thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's healthy.
Yeah.
You have to have your own hobbies and interests away from your partner. You can't drag them into everything you do. They're going to become resentful.
But anyway, back to our crazy lady. I just think I think society, well, our court system has really pushed this. You've actually made it a bargaining chip.
Well,
you made kids a bargaining chip.
They've made it so that the lawyers get more money, and it became about winning, not about what's best for the kids or what's best for the people. It's about winning, and they'll win at any cost. It's pretty gross. Okay, according to the lawsuit, the saga began in September of that year when Gown filed for divorce from Goldstein. By October 8th, following a heated dispute inside their home with their children present, Gown called 911, claiming Goldstein had slammed a door on her arm, although responding NYPD officers found no evidence of a crime because they knew she was full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And believe me, you get your arm slammed at the door, that'll leave a mark. Like a healthy one, too. Anybody that's ever done that before, like you're wearing your ski mask chasing someone and they manage to slam the door on your arm, rude, but incredibly painful.
You know what sucks for me? I don't bruise. So if Lady Monkey beat the shit out of me, I'd have no proof.
Yeah, I didn't used to bruise very easily. I still kind of don't. But some things leave a bigger bruise than others. Man, I tell you, you get your arm slammed in a door, whether it's a car door or an interior door, that's probably going to leave a mark. Not on people like you, weirdo, but on the normies.
It actually sucks because if you get hurt and you don't have a bruise and you're like, oh, that fucking hurts. People look at you like you're retarded. But if you got a big old bruise on it, they're like, oh my God, are you okay?
Yeah, they're all sympathetic if they see the bruise, but if there's no bruise, they're like, you pussy, walk it off. Stop being a bitch. But no, it really hurts. Fuck you, bitch. Yeah. You should carry around like some black marker or like a purple marker. Be like, there's my bruise. You happy now?
I'm gonna go bruise face on this shit.
Got Lon Chaney's makeup kit. Start making bruises. According to responding NYPD officers, no crime, quote, no crime had occurred and no arrest was warranted, end quote, they wrote. That should have been the end of it.
No. No crime occurred. She filed a false police report.
They don't go after women for that. Where have you been?
Oh.
They were more worried about the domestic because in a lot of places, if there's a call about a domestic, you have to arrest somebody regardless of what else is going on. Which they're finally getting away from that bullshit because too many women are abusing it.
We need to get back to arresting people for false police reports. You want to nip this shit in the bud? If that bitch had been told right then, you're going to jail now for false reports, she'd have thought twice about the rest of what she does.
Arresting a woman? Oh my God, Monkey. Women are the most sainted creatures on the planet. They don't commit violent crimes. They don't commit any crimes. And they don't fart. They're dainty.
This is only mildly related, but Jussie Smollett has agreed to end his civil suit. He's giving a payment to some fucking charity there in Chicago. And he put out this long statement about how, see, he was proven he didn't do anything wrong.
No, you weren't, you lying sack of shit. Also, did he run out of money?
Well, he's given $50,000 to some kids organization. He's given another $10,000 to the $10,000 is on his own. That's not part of the court thing because he's just such a good guy.
Uh-huh.
But giving it to people who have been falsely charged by the police.
He wasn't falsely charged. If anything, he should be donating money to the Trump campaign because that's who he besmirched.
He should be giving money to somebody out there who I lost my train of thought. I had one.
I think those Nigerians deserve the money.
You said Trump, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. He deserves that. He should be giving money to anybody who called him a liar from the start.
Yeah, let's see some donations coming in, Jussie, you puss. All right, that should have been the end of it. But what allegedly happened next flipped standard legal procedure on its head. Instead of accepting the officer's assessment, Gown allegedly called up her close friend and colleague Lawrence Newman, then a fellow prosecutor at the Manhattan DA's office, seeking advice on how to escalate the incident into felony territory.
Jesus.
This bitch is bitter. There is a copy of the complaint in here so you can read all 62 pages. I'm not doing it. I don't care that much. That phone call, Goldstein's lawsuit claims, was captured on police body cameras. So she's not a terribly smart prosecutor.
Apparently not.
The footage the complaint alleges. Oh, thank you, Jussie Smollett, who says, get fucked. Not with $3.
No.
Call back to yesterday's episode.
That'll leave an itch.
But thank you, Jussie. That's funny. Somebody actually did that. That phone call Goldstein's lawsuit claims was captured on police body cameras. The footage the complaint alleges sees Gown and Newman conspiring in real time to convert a routine domestic call into a career-crippling criminal prosecution. You know that cop is like, I'm just going to stand here and let this thing record.
Yep.
Following
Why would you do that right then instead of waiting until you see him at the office the next day?
I don't know. You're doing that in front of a cop wearing a body camera? What are you, retarded? I mean, granted, she could probably get that video destroyed because she's a prosecutor. She's got enough authority to bury that thing for years. But why would you take that? Not only do you have the recording, you have the witness wearing the camera.
Yeah.
You're dumb. Following the call, the suit says Gown altered her account, claiming not only had she that she had been bruised, but also had been thrown to the ground. Unsatisfied with this assessment, defendant Gown placed a call to her friend and fellow ADA Lawrence Newman. The suit says their conversation captured on police body camera, including Gown conspiring with Newman to fabricate details and pressure the NYPD to escalate the incident into a felony assault charge. Soon after, she also accused Goldstein of physically abusing their children.
Oh, what a bitch.
The lawsuit asserts Gown coached the couple's young children, then just 4 and 6 years old, to support those abuse allegations. The children were interrogated by NYPD. Did they have the spotlight on them? That's not how that works. Interrogated by NYPD and ACS at her direction while she stood outside the door, the suit says. They initially denied any abuse, but later, under pressure, repeated what Gown had allegedly told them to say. Did they get the rubber hoses out? She wanted him out of the children's lives, and she weaponized her badge to make that happen, the complaint claims. Goldstein ended up being slapped with multiple charges: assault, harassment, and endangering the welfare of a child, despite officers initially determining no crime had occurred. Even more disturbingly, the complaint claims that the 2 NYPD officials, Detective Rachel Lutz and Officer Cameron Fabian, collaborated with Gown and her DA allies to push the charges forward. All these people need fired and charged.
Yep. And charged, yep.
The conspiracy extended across 2 prosecutorial offices and at least 2 NYPD commands and multiple city agencies.
Real quick, in chat, BG asked, what part of her seems smart? It's not that she seems smart when I said, how dumb can you be, or that's not smart. Sometimes the stupidity of our fellow humans, even as little as I think of humanity a lot, still shocks me. Like, I get that she's a prosecutor and she probably works with the police, so she thinks she has an in. So even if she didn't know there was a body camera, Jack, maybe she felt a little bit comfortable pulling this bullshit in front of a fucking witness.
Right?
But she shouldn't have. She should know as a prosecutor that you can't always count on your witnesses, for fuck's sake.
A lot of people with even just a taste of power, think they could bully everyone. And
Yeah.
apparently she ran into an obviously honest cop who was like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to stand here and record this. Because
Yep.
they weren't going to charge anyone. They're like, no, this is a non-issue. And then, even though the cops said that, right in front of them, she starts conspiring to elevate it. Bitch, what are you thinking? That is so shockingly dumb. I reminded of that clip of the hood rat guy who was like, "You're just dumb. You are
Yep.
so dumb."
Yes.
I have to get that on a loop because it seems to be a prescient comment more and more. Gau's fellow prosecutors Kelly Keating and Lawrence Newman are also named in the complaint as active participants in the conspiracy, accused of helping upgrade the charges against Goldstein. Despite having no prior criminal history, Goldstein was arrested and charged with felony assault, harassment, and 2 counts of child endangerment. His mugshot and charges were entered into public record, severely damaging his personal and professional reputation. With a protective order issued against him, Goldstein was separated from his children for 8 months.
Oh.
His access to his kids, his home, and his freedom hung in the balance, while his reputation as a journalist and father crumbled under the weight of what he now calls a manufactured legal ambush. I think that's really a kind way of putting this.
Yep.
On at least one occasion, the suit alleges, Gown broke into Goldstein's Brooklyn apartment to gather information for her divorce strategy. Yeah. Breaking and entering should be on here too.
I think when she's eventually found guilty of this, part of her punishment, he should be allowed to slam her arm in a door.
And break into her house. The Manhattan DA's office ultimately transferred the case to the Bronx to avoid conflict of interest. Prosecutors reviewed the evidence and dropped all charges.
No shit.
Yeah, they're like, this is nonsense. Yeah, I'm glad to see there are still some honest people working in the government, because it's not very often they'll just drop a charge like this when a government official is making the accusation.
I hear you, and good on the Bronx for doing this properly, but whoever's like, we need to transfer this to another department for honesty, should be fired too, because they should have looked at this and went, no. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I think a lot of people should be fired out of this. There's probably quite a few people. All right. Family court investigation into the child abuse allegations was also dismissed as unfounded by the Administration for Child Services. That's good. That's pretty rare too. Usually they make you drag through a lot more. Goldstein, now partially reunited with his children, has filed suit not just for damages.
Time out. Partially reunited?
Partially reunited. She's still a woman, dude. She's still going to get the preferential treatment.
Fuck. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
He's filed suit not just for damages, but for accountability. His complaint seeks restitution for what he calls was a calculated effort to destroy his life and career. Absolutely. The defendants named in the case are Gown, Keating, Newman, Lutz, and Fabian, have so far declined to comment publicly. The Manhattan's DA's office refused to discuss pending litigation, but confirmed it has referred the matter to the city's law department. It's going to have to go to an outside agency because otherwise you're investigating yourself, and that usually leads to, we found no wrongdoing.
Yep.
The Brooklyn DA's offices emphasized that Newman was not employed there at the time of the alleged conspiracy. I guess he works at Brooklyn now, but he did at the time. He was in Manhattan. Goldstein himself has declined to speak publicly, allowing the lawsuit to speak for him. I was arrested, separated from my children, and branded a criminal based on lies, he states in the complaint, all because my ex-wife had the power and connections to make it happen. Yeah, that's pretty frightening.
Time out. This is just a civil suit?
Yeah, he's suing her in federal court.
This bitch needs to... Why is nobody brought up on charges here?
That's an interesting question, because this happened 3 years ago.
God damn.
Yeah.
All right.
All these people are still working for the government. So Goldstein's suit remains pending in Manhattan federal court. Should the claims be proven, it would mean a stinging Manhattan prosecutor conspired A sitting Manhattan prosecutor conspired with colleagues and police to fabricate felony charges against her own husband during a family court dispute. Yeah, that'd be the crux of the article, genius. As of May 2025, Gowan and Keating remain employed by the Manhattan DA's office. Newman left the DA's office shortly after the October 2022 incident and currently works in the Brooklyn DA's office. These people need to be fired and held accountable, but they're government officials, so I won't hold my breath. They'll probably be retired by the time this actually goes anywhere.
If I'm any criminal defendant that shows up in front of, in a case with these as the prosecutors, I bring this up.
Oh, I definitely try and get this in because she's vindictive.
Yep.
And it shows that she's corrupt and willing to break the law and conspire with the NYPD to break the law. And that makes the NYPD look bad too.
Yeah, and that reminded me of this, Jack. Several people sent me this clip today. We're going to watch it without the sound on. And thank you to everybody who sent me. I watched every one that was sent to me because it's one of my favorite videos of all time.
Oh, is this the nut shot?
Yeah. I've said it's one of many. But I said during the riots and stuff, how dare you make me root for the police acting this way?
Yeah,
because
I mean, it's really funny, so it's kind of hard to get too upset. I mean, they're shooting mongrels in the street.
I think there's a lot of good police out there, Jack.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
also know there are a lot of corrupt ones, like the ones working with this lady.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's in every occupation, but when it's in government, it's very noticeable because they're out in front of people.
Yeah.
So when they're doing something wrong, it's very noticeable. The insidious ones are like your corrupt, like parking enforcement, or who are just giving innocent people tickets for no fucking reason, or other people working behind the scenes, people in middle management, somebody that hands out permits that just doesn't like you. Those are the insidious ones. When you get corrupt cops, you can spot them fairly easily because they do corrupt shit right out in public.
Under my watermark up there, it says Celine Dion because Celine Dion is playing over this version of the clip.
Yeah, my heart will go on.
He kicks that, and he turns towards the cops, and booyah, right in the nuts. I fucking love that. We're gonna watch it again. Hang on.
Now, to be fair, those tear gas launchers are kind of hard to aim.
So that's like nuts.
1 in a million shot right there. And you know what? Fuck this Antifa bitch. I think that's just an agent of karma doing karmic justice for society. And I think this guy that took the shot to the nuts is the one who started the Don't Have Children movement.
He might have been. But see, this is what made me think of the how dare you make. I don't want to live in a world where we need police like this.
No, that's scary. We should live in a more civilized society.
Especially when we do know some of them are corrupt, like the ones that you were just talking about.
Yeah.
Them having the stormtrooper thing going on here, kind of disturbing to me. However, watching that guy get shot in the nuts over and over makes me laugh.
Yeah, because he's a garbage person. It's nice when bad people get what's coming to them. But we shouldn't encourage psychopathic behavior.
Yes, exactly. So, if anybody's on Twitter and wants to watch that with the Celine Dion playing, it does actually add to it a little bit. There's the link for that.
I hate that song, but
it works here so much.
Yeah, so some things are just right together, like Reese's peanut butter cups.
And that one wasn't the pepper ball. That was an actual. That dude took a tear gas canister to the nads.
Yeah,
that had to hurt.
Oh man, that'll leave a mark. Even like those rubber bullets, like the big foam ones that come out of the boom tubes.
Yeah,
those motherfuckers will leave a welt. Pepper balls, that's gonna do the grazing, which is worse. It's gonna graze your nuts. And anybody that's had like a slap, you have that 1 second where you're like, oh, that did. Oh my god. You know?
Me and Lady Monkey were bouncing. This is way back when we are 17, maybe 16. We're in her driveway, and she has a hard rubber ball, like a racquetball kind of ball.
Oh yeah, those
And
hurt.
we're just bouncing it to each other. And she threw it kind of funny, and I didn't adjust quick enough. And so it bounces and just grazes my nuts. That put me down for half an hour.
Wow.
Women, y'all don't have to kick us hard in the nuts. You're just doing like internal damage there. If you just want to hurt us, just graze them. The graze is worse because you're not even sure you're hit at first or if it's going to hurt. You're like, wait.
Yeah, there's like that moment of like clarity where you're like, oh, I'm okay. And then it hits you.
That calm before the storm. And it's, oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah. You think something miraculous happened where they missed, but then the horrifying pain sets in. Real quick, though, thank you, Evolved Potato. There's also those police that went around during COVID shooting people with paintballs that were just sitting on their porch. Yeah, they got sued for that in Portland, and they had to pay out a big settlement. They arrested a guy because they were in an unmarked van driving around, and they were shooting paintballs at him. He didn't know what was going on. So he pulled a gun out, and they freaked out and started drawing their actual firearms on him and charged him. And they tried to charge him with attempted murder of a police officer.
Oh, get fucked.
They ended up having to drop all the charges against him, and he sued and got a big payout. And they fought it for a while, but they ended up settling with him. But they were trying to throw the book at this guy. He had no idea what was going on, and I totally believe that. He was just some guy getting off work, going to his car, and they rolled up on him thinking because he was out after curfew, that suddenly he's a protester, and they were miles from the protest.
Yeah, and that's why I don't want to cheer for this kind of stuff, because the potential for the abuse of power is just too great. However, when it is actual Antifa folks out there protesting and they get shot in the nuts, I want to see it.
Yeah, I have very minimal concern for Antifa clowns. They're not good people.
No.
There might be one or two good people in there, but I highly doubt it.
You're not that guy we see get so pepper sprayed that it was literally dripping off of him.
That dude was dumbass, though. He stood there and instigated that shit.
Yeah, and that's my point. A lot of these Antifa folks, they deserve way worse than they get. Many of them just deserve an outright ass whipping.
Oh, yeah. They're spoiled little bitches that can only operate in a mob. They've never had a consequence. It's very obvious. And most of them do not look like they've ever been in a real fight. And they're out there antagonizing people, throwing things at people, doing things that would actually hurt somebody, trying to burn buildings down that have people in them.
Eagle, were you not here for that? So the police have the pepper spray, and this guy decides he's going to be a hero. So he runs up and stands in front of it. And seriously, as he walks away, there is wetness dripping off of him. That's how sprayed he got.
Yeah, it was actually a little impressive. Like, some people are kind of immune to capsaicin. So he could probably take quite a bit of it before it actually started hurting. But dear God, that had to be burning by the end. Your pores can only take so much.
When I say dripping off of him, that might like your shower head after you turn. No, this was running down him. He got sprayed so badly. And fuck him, he did it to himself.
Yeah. I didn't feel bad for anything that happened to those protesters.
Not at all. No.
I think if anything, the police showed amazing restraint more often than not.
Do you remember that one time we're watching and the police are like, all right, we're moving in now. And there's a video of Alex as she's running away. That was actually her name, guys. I'm not being racist. Her name's not Alex and she's Chinese. No, her name is Arex, A-R-E-X.
Yep.
And Arex is running away, and the police catch up to one of her little companions and start to tackle him. And she's like, but we were leaving, even though they'd been told to leave an hour earlier. And
they've been telling them to leave forever. And it probably even started before that they were being told to leave.
Yeah, and it's not until the police actually start moving that they're like, "Oh my God, we got to leave." And then she's like, "How dare you treat him like that? We were leaving." Like, he deserved it. He should have left when they told him to. You were trying to burn down a federal building. You should be in prison.
Yeah, and they always slow roll leaving, so they could say they're leaving, but they're making like inches of progress. Well, they
Yep.
turn around and yell at the cops some more, throw some shit, and then they inch away a little more. We've all seen people do that. You watch enough body cam videos, you're gonna see a bunch of fucking dipshits that can't follow simple directions.
Hey, but see, it's even worse than that because it's not that they can't follow; they are being purposefully childish, and I'm not doing what you tell me to do.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's a power and control thing.
Yep. And they wouldn't have to be told what to do if they weren't acting like idiots.
Yeah, it's not even like they had a real cause. They were just being assholes.
Yeah, they rallied to the cause of burning down a federal courthouse.
Yeah. I'm not sure what exactly they were thinking they were going to gain from that, but it didn't work out. The courthouse is still there.
Yep.
So
we're gonna wrap up here because I need to go play a video game, Jack. Whoa, shit.
Oh, unless you break something.
I had my legs crossed and I uncrossed them and they caught my mouse cord and it just went flying.
Having a tantrum. That's the perfect way to say it, Eagle. That
Yeah.
they're petulant children having a tantrum.
It is amazing how much better society would be if adults would just act like adults.
These days, you are asking for a lot.
The whole summer of love nonsense was a bunch of childish behavior. That's all it was. They didn't accomplish anything. They didn't change the world. They were just out there, be like, "I'm mad. I'm going to take it out on everyone else." It's childish nonsense. I mean, that's what, like with David Hogg the other day, Jasmine Crockett, she's what people want. She's a giant child.
Yeah. Well, that probably is what people that are raised to be perpetual toddlers probably want somebody else. It's sort of a Rugrats effect. You know, everybody wants to maintain their childhood disposition, and that's what they're going to vote for. Somebody else that's a spoiled little child.
Look, I can be childish on the show. I can be childish. I'm not a fucking leader. I'm not an elected member of Congress. Just like Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's a 60-year-old child. I don't know how old she is. She looks, God. Marjorie, how much time did you spend in the sun, lady?
Yeah, you should avoid that. It's not good for you.
She's like she was rode hard and put up dry.
Yeah, in a pruning machine. Jeez.
But this is what's celebrated. That's what gets attention, is acting like a goddamn child.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's very strange these days.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you so much for the donations. You guys are very, very kind. Jack, anything you want to shill out?
I'll drop a link to something here in a second. As always, thank you guys so much for all the support you give us. Thank you to Jussie Smollett for Comedy Gold and Keldrig and Evolved. You guys are awesome. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us night after night and listening to this rambly nonsense coming out of my face hole and occasionally out of Monkey.
Indeed.
That's awesome.
No long exit tonight. I don't want Pedro Pascal to try licking it. Jack, a pleasure as always, my friend.
Always glad to be here.
Ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourselves. We love you. See you next time. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.
You know what's sad? I always point at the screen and like, bye, guys. See you next time. And nobody sees that except me.
Yeah, I wave a lot. Sometimes I make gesticulate. I do like little bunny ears for air quotes. And
yeah, me too.
I'm pretty sure my neighbors think I'm psychotic, but you know.
Here's a song at the end of the show. There you go.